The Time Travel Plumber, September 17. Brian and the plumber for time teach insurance company looking around at the flooded kitchen. She had been to the house for weekend. A few months ago, she had moved back to live her parents to save some money because Charlie's hospital bills were so high. She had hoped to sell the house before this one. So far, no one had been interested. Someone was coming to see it tomorrow. The first person, if for months, she really needed to bounce, if but no good way to know. She bet the weather has been in the kitchen for it because it smelled like oil fish.
Ew, said Charlie at horrible smell. He held his nose and made a silly face, the way 5 years old do. And then he started to cough. But the steam body was too weak for the effort and he stopped. Priya felt even worse about the situation.
She had called the plumber son as they saw the condition of the house, and right after that she had her boss and they were shocked to say she could work today. She was really good at her job and she so loved or well, but he would probably take money for a way paid. Just one of those expensive necklace was paid to Charlie operation. It was sure unfair.
Do you mind if I look? Asked the plumber. Of course, please. Go in, she replied. Lucky, the plumber was wearing boots and were about 5 centimeters higher than the water. He walked slowly towards the sink and opened the cupboard under it to look at the pipes. Then he took a few photos and the flood kitchen, one of them with her, Charlie and the dog in. Charlie made another silly face for the photo, which made him look even more pale and ill.
Can you please? She asked him. She didn't have the money to pay something to repair the kitchen, so he hoped the insurance company would do it. But time fish, the long promise, said goodbye to every problem you ever had, where Bryce definitely wanted to say goodbye to this problem.
It's your lucky day, he said, as long as the flood happened within the right time period. And now, to be sure, I need to go back 2 months. The pipe looked as if it's been like this for a while, but I think the flooding actually happened 6 weeks ago because of the way the water looked. Priya shook her head and in surprise. It was too hard to believe that his time travel stuff was real.
Now, I just need to ask a few questions. He said he had a pen and paper to make notes, not some complicated machine like you might expect and time travel to have. When did you sync up with time twitch? August 15, she said. Her heart sank the moment the word flew out her mouth. Oh, say, he said that only a month ago.
Oh no, please, don't say you can fix this. I need to sell the house or I can't pay for Charlie's doctor. And she began to cry. She couldn't stop herself, and I had to take the morning off work to come here today, and my boss isn't happy. Now we won't pay me for today, which is all I need.
We really can't go to back a time before the consul singed up the team. He said because it's really hard to make them believe that in the future they're going to be a coaster. We tried a few times, but I always went well.
Oh, I'm sure. I believe you. I was thinking about signing up for a long time before I finally did it. She said, say goodbye to every problem you ever had, right? I certainly have a lot of problems. She tried to laugh, but instead, she was almost crying again.
Charlie hurried her less. Maybe the plumber felt sorry for her, or maybe he was just embarrassed, but he said, you saying I feel you're having a hard time, so Okay, I do it for you.
He wrote down some more information, shaking his head. She knew that he was doing her a big favor. I'll be back in about half an hour to make sure you're happy with the work, okay?
The plumber welcomed back to the road and disappeared into his van. It was a very ordinary van and it did look like a time machine and well. The salon said goodbye to every problem you ever had, was painted on the side of the van. It had an S to some smaller writing under, but you could really see from where it was.
Obviously, they couldn't wait in the disgusting flood kitchen, so they sat outside. Charlie was too tired to run around the garden. Instead, he watched the dog trying to dig a hole next to the for sale sign. She went closer to the van and read the small writing under the slogan. Time Tech only solves problems involving objects. We cannot change situations that happen because of the people and their actions.
Ah, now they remember Tim Touch had been in the news after 12 or their coaster went to prison and Tim had no address next to the word every teacher slogan. Just as she was looking at it, then the door opened, then fixing the floor and say, smiling. What a surprise to see you, Ryan.
Yes, at first, but that's why the photos are so useful. People always believe me when they see themselves in the pictures. You said you couldn't believe you were using time test so soon after signing up. Let's see. Charlie jumped up and down with a new energy.
Ryan opened the house door and used lighting to from. His problem was solved. The kitchen was right, tidy, and smelling normal. Wow, said Charlie.
Raya agreed. It's as though the flood never happened, she said to the plumber. He laughed. It didn't happen, he said. I put your new pipe in on 17 July, and that solved the problem before it couldn't happen. I will be more accurate to say the flood won't happen, but don't think about it too much. Time travel is confusing. Raya shook her head. She couldn't believe that what had just happened or unhappened.
July 17. 2 months early, Freya wasn't asking her head, and she also couldn't believe what had just happened in one way. Of course, nothing extraordinary had happened. A plumber had a fix appeared in a few minutes, except the pipe was broken yet, and the plumber had come from the future.
Well, she was glad that future Freya was going to sign up with Time Tech. She had heard a bit about it, but now she's really understood what the company did. Say goodbye to every problem you ever have, the slogan on the van outside her house had said. There was some smaller writing underneath, but she hadn't been close enough to read. It was amazing. Solve all your problems with travel time. She hadn't believed it. The plumber was telling the truth at first, but when she showed her photo, when the future knew was true. To the photo showed Charlie looking so pale and thin. It broke her heart to see how much worse her little boy would get in the next 2 months.
I will certainly gonna lot of problems. She found the biggest part was money, of course. Since Charlie had got in, she had spent all her money on doctor and medicine. But he still needed an operation, and if he didn't get it, she didn't want to think about it. She had very little time and she needed money, a lot of it. Until today, she found selling the house and moving in with her parents was the only was to get enough money to make Charlie better. But now, thanks to Time Teach, she has a better idea. She knew still was wrong, time travel didn't change that. But my bossing is horrible to me. She taunts, and anyway he's so rich, we want nothing, is a couple of £100,000 necklace disappear. And if I do get caught, well, Team Teach we would make him unhappy and get me out of prison. Maybe they will help her pawn the jewelry back or go back in the time and show her photo of herself in a prison, or whatever it was their call to. She's in her kitchen with her old ace Time Teach ensure what is the ensure you could ever have.
As they waved the plumber goodbye, Charlie ran back into the garden. He played with the dog, who had found a ball in the kitchen. "Where's the for sale sign, Mom?" He asked. "Did the plumber take it away?" Something like that," said Brian. She smiled as she watched him running around. His legs were strong and his little fat face was pink.
The operation was a success. She found her old worries were gone, but know that she had read the smart writing. On the Time Teach van, she had a new fear, that any moment the police would come and she would be the 13th person in prison. Team Teach could solve every problem. She had been crazy to imagine they could. So far, it seemed as if her bossing had noticed the missing necklace. She hoped her luck would last. Nicola Fredkin.